Hi guys, it's Dr. Lee Hancock, and welcome to the Player Toolbox session on tenacity, grit, and competitive mindset. This one's about grit. As you're starting to go through this module, remember, in all of our workshops, in all of our modules, you can pause it. Take time to go through the activities, take time to think about what we're asking you and you're learning, and just go at your own pace. If you're reading this, you said to us, okay, this is something I want to improve on. And of course, this one, as well as all the other ones, we're gonna go through grit, going to give you some examples, and we're going to help you improve on it. These are some of the questions that you responded to about grit. This is some of the way you rated yourself on grit. And like all of our other modules, the goal is to up it. The goal here at Player Toolbox is to improve. How can we help you improve? For us, it's about understanding, practicing, improving, and tracking. So hopefully we can help you understand and then give you some ways to practice, improve, and track it. So let's get after grit. Take 30 seconds. What do you do when you fail? Do you remember a time where you persevered? Where you kept after it? Do you remember a time when you said, forget it, I quit? Really take a moment to think about those times. Because again, you answered the questions here. Think about some real times where those things happened. Look, the truth is everybody fails, okay? But not everybody gets after it over time and is in it for the long haul. And that's grit. Grit is perseverance in the face of repeated failures over a long period of time. Basically, grit is your ability to continue to work at something even if you fail repeatedly. It's a learned skill. Grit is something you can get better at. It takes a certain approach and attitude every day. And it's a combination of a couple of things. Having a passionate purpose and having a competitive growth mindset. So the big one we're going to spend our time on today is, what is your purpose? Why do you play? So let's talk about how to practice that. Why do you play? Do you have goals? Have you written them down? Do you strive for them every day? Or you just go out and just kind of train? If you want to have long-term perseverance to get up repeatedly, it can't be just because. The players that have grit have an idea of, I have a purpose out here. And they're very clear in their purpose. If you want to reach for the stars, you absolutely have to have things to shoot for. Think of the best organizations in the world or the best players in the world. Think about some of the best clubs in the world, right? The Real Madrids, the Manchester United, the US women's national team. There are standards and expectations for these athletes, for these players, every single day. They have big goals and they have high standards. The truth is that there are two things you can do every day to start on this path. Set out a couple of goals and set and ensure your training standards. The first one's easy. Why do you play? Write down 3 reasons. Where do you want to be playing in a year, or 2 years, or 3 years? And what 3 to 5 specific things do you want to improve on? Now, it may seem small, but post them and look at them every single day. Let them be reminders for you. Now here's the big one. Training doesn't count if you aren't going out and training with a purpose. Meaning, if you just show up and put an hour's worth of average training in, that's how much you got better. An average amount in an hour. But if you went and did purposeful, hard training, even when there's mistakes, you got something out of that. You got the hour's worth of training out of that. Again, even when there's mistakes. Your grit can only be established if you have something to shoot for. If you fail, it happens. It's not going after it. That doesn't work. So there's 3 things you can do every day to set your standard and be purposeful in what you're doing. Focus training versus just showing up. Reach every day. And redefine success in your practice. Focus training versus just showing up. It's training to improve as opposed to just simply going through the motions. How do you hold yourself accountable? Are you setting some things out every day you want to get done? As you train to work to get better, don't quit until you see that you've given your best. And sometimes you fall short. That happens. But you have to set daily goals for training. Ensure you're reaching. Reach for something better every single day. It's critical to your existence as an elite athlete. The best players in the world are never satisfied with their current form. So every day, what 1 or 2 or 3 things are you going to reach to do? What's 1 or 2 or 3 things that you're trying? Is it 1 minute more? Is it 10 touches more? Is it completing 5 more passes? Something where you're putting yourself out there, where you're reaching for something that's more difficult, right? Trying some things with your left foot, your right foot, right? Winning some balls in the air. Something along those lines. Reach for something more. The last one is redefining success in your practice. Focus on improvement and effort. The pursuit of the win, congratulate yourself on what you did for the win versus the win. Meaning, did you focus on getting better, or was it just about winning the game ugly? Look, everybody likes to win. I understand that. You're emerging players. The important thing here is that you understand what you are trying to improve on as you seek to win, okay? I want you to focus on yourself versus beating other people all the time, okay? You want to beat that player over there? Awesome. But when you don't beat that person, is it because they were better? Is it because you were worse? What 2 or 3 things do you need to improve on? Again, self-referenced improvement versus other referenced improvement. And in trainings, be sure you're trying these new things. And when you fail, tell yourself it's about the process, not the product, right? So those 3 pieces are really important. And of course, as you start thinking about establishing that grit and that purpose and establishing those standards of expectations for your training, use the worksheet that accompanies this module and track your progress. How will you set the standards with these ideas? Write down ways that you'll incorporate these into training every day. Okay, guys, we'll see you next time.